Welcome back to the Bluffton News. Well, we just heard from his rival, Todd Stewart from Bluffton High, but with me now is Brett.Macy, and he is the athletic director for May River High. So we have a lot to talk about with you as well for the spring sports season that's getting started. So give us a little bit of a rundown of your spring sports.
Yeah, just getting started really this week. We have some scrimmages underway. Lacrosse, girls lacrosse gets started actually tomorrow with the scrimmage, and then boys soccer hosts a big jamboree this weekend. Like Bluffton, Coach Stewart, obviously a busy time of the year with spring sports starting and winter sports kind of wrapping up here with wrestling and basketball. So get through these few weeks and then kind of get focused on spring sports is always an athletic director's kind of dream here and as part of the calendar. But no, it's looking good. A lot of spring sports, a lot of options out there. And we offer every spring sport possible between lacrosse, tennis, track and field, baseball, softball, golf. So it's a busy time, but it's a fun time as the calendar swings and it starts to warm up. So it's good.
Right, absolutely. And so are you looking for certain teams to have a lot of success this year? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, you never know in high school. It's hard to tell. I think you look at boys lacrosse had their best season in school history last year. They're very powerful offensively. We lose some of that power. Rob Gudowski has moved on and playing college lacrosse, but we still have a lot of the big guns back. I know the schedule, Coach Dyer kind of upped it a little bit, so it should be a tough schedule, but we have Brooks Van Esselstein back. He was an all-state performer, and a lot of that team from last year is back. So, look for boys lacrosse to have a good year. And then you look at boys soccer. They had a huge number at tryouts, probably around 60 to 80 kids. They won the state championship a few years ago. Would have been heavy favorites the year of COVID. So I think they'll probably return to, a really good, solid team again. And then you never know, in high school who kind of emerges, and it's excited to see. So it'll be fun.
Absolutely. And so let's talk a little bit about the students and the, being athletes and students at the same time. What are some ways that they are balancing, between grades and competing for their chosen sport?
Yeah, it's tough, especially on spring sports, just because of the travel, what time we start school and get out of school. Beaufort County, we get out at 3:45, and a lot of those JV contests will start at 5. Varsity will start at 6, and even if we're traveling, to Beaufort or, up to Charleston, we got to leave during 4th block a lot. So those kids have got to focus on that class they missed. They're responsible for that work, and they got to probably put some extra time in on the weekend that they may not have to do if they weren't spring sports students. Right. But like all of our, student athletes at May River, they do a great job. Our coaches do a good job of tracking it. I want to say last year as a student athlete body, we had like a 3.9 GPA, which is just fabulous. Actually, may have been a 4.0. Wow. So they do a great job. It's a tough balancing act, and the kids put in a lot of work. They put a lot of work in athletically, and they have to put in extra work, on their time off academically when they do miss those classes. But they do a great job.
Well, they certainly sounds like it. That's a very impressive grade point. And so let's wrap up a little bit with some of your goals for the spring sports.
Well, like I said, student participation is always a big deal in all athletics, but especially spring sports. The more kids you have out there, the more kids you can recruit from your hallways, probably the more success you're going to have. Yeah. From my perspective, I look at numbers. Where are our numbers at? Are we having all of our JV teams? If we're doing that, then we're a strong program, and we're always constantly building for the future. As a coach, obviously you coach in that year, but you also have to think about the program. And so when you do lose seniors, you can replace them, with competent players and good players. So that's what I look for from an athletic director standpoint is numbers. Are our numbers up? Are we having our JV teams that we should be, having, and just the whole roundness of the athletic program. And I'm excited to get started. Like I said, the calendar kind of changes over. It starts getting warm. Yep. When winter sports is over, you really focus on the spring, and it's nice to get outside, and I'm excited for it.
Well, it sounds like a very busy time, so thank you for sparing us a few minutes this morning to tell us all about it. And good luck and much success to all your spring sports teams this year.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you to my guests for their insights and contributions today. Thank you to my wardrobe sponsor, SM Bradford Company and Currents, for today's look. My production team of Joseph Keith, Jeremy Pope, Lisa Richardson, and Jessa Jeremiah are behind the scenes to make all of this possible. And of course, we are honored that you have chosen to share a part of your day with us. And we wish you all the best until we meet again for the next Bluffton News.